TIFU by sending a handmade gift to a person that does the same craft as me but 100 times better. Long story short, I took part in a secret Santa event created by a fan site I follow. Basically online strangers who like the same artist exchange Christmas card and/or small gifts. So my first response was to include a copule of accessories and jewelry I made myself that were inspired by the artist we both like, as well as some sweets, scented candles and beauty products. Now here's the thing. Yesterday they got the package, found me online, and I saw they also make jewelry, and I was like, ah, that's awesome. But then I started scrolling through their profile. Turns out they make one of the most elegant, classy, gorgeous pieces I've seen so far in my work. Well, it doesn't look like trash straight out of a garbage can, but it's definitely much more colorful, casual, and well, in comparison it looks like a rainbow fart made by a 10-year-old kid. I'm so ashamed I'm thinking about deleting the profiles where I post my work. There's no way in hell they'll ever do anything with the stuff I sent other than throwing it in the drawer or give it away to some kid in the family. I feel really stupid for not buying something actually nice, because what on earth was I thinking? That someone will go, wow, that's cute. Quote question mark. I was very full of myself and too confident in my skills, and I learned my lesson the hard way. TL. Dear, I sent very colorful, sparkly jewelry to a person who turned out to make this beautiful, classy jewelry pieces themselves, and made myself look like a fool who's mentally 5 years old. Every real artist I know is just happy to find people who share their passion. They will appreciate your gift in a way others can't, because they know what it takes to hone your craft. I have a friend that makes hella amazing cross-stitch pieces. I can make cross-stitch pieces, but they are utterly boring compared to how clean she can do them, and how interesting she can make them with or without a pattern. She still hung up the first one I ever gave her prominently in her home, because even though she could have made one 10x better, she didn't make this one. And that's why she appreciates it. Just because she could have done it better doesn't mean she thinks it's worthless or less important to her. Don't decide what they will think about it, and don't compare yourself to their work. I love a fancy steak, but I also love street food. Just because they make one thing, it doesn't mean that they hate everything else. No FU here. Op. You sent a unique gift to a person who can appreciate it 10x more than others because they are intimately familiar with the effort it takes. Also, you gave them one hell of a story with this coincidence. Don't you ever dress differently for different occasions? Or do you just always dress like you're going to a black tie fundraiser just because you can? Variety is the spice of life, and I'm sure they're grateful. You sent a gift to someone who far better understands the time and effort involved than anyone else. You could have given it to and at one time they made stuff just like yours. I imagine they greatly appreciate it. I'm a gourmet chef by trade, but there's nothing I love more than when people cook for me, especially when they are amateur home cooks. I always appreciate the effort and kind gesture or the actions, and I don't judge people by the standards I would expect from a colleague in the restaurant kitchen. I mean, they found you online afterwards. Am I wrong in assuming it was to thank you? Why would they go to that effort if it wasn't meaningful? I'm a potter who gives my work away, and I have to tell you, when I see it years later, I am impressed. It can take a while. Your stuff is gorgeous. You know it too well, and what you saw in your head doesn't match. It really is far better than we think. She will be delighted. OMG, I want to see your sparkly rainbow fart jewelry. I make jewelry too, and that sounds amazing. To be honest, I'd still love that gift. I mean, my dad knows I like anime. and bought me the most cringe anime shirt I ever saw. I did make a point of wearing it at the next family gathering. Divorced parents. So he wasn't even there to see it. But I did make sure I was in the pictures. It really should be the thought that counts. I just appreciate someone did the effort. Years before I met my wife, her mom had a stroke that physically debilitated her for several years. One Christmas after, she decided to make family heirlooms that were basically just creepy, ugly dolls poorly made out of burlap. Like something you would expect better than from a 7-year-old. All her kids just broke into tears laughing and really hurt her feelings. She's since fully recuperated and plays and teaches the piano. I crochet, and do so very well. I love receiving other people's crocheted items, even if it is a scarf they used as their first practice piece. Seriously, don't be hard on yourself. I've always been a dabbler, but never committed strongly into one hobby. As a result, I'm never the best one when I'm around friends who gravitate more towards one thing. It honestly doesn't matter if they are better, and I'm sure they are happy to have someone around who shares their hobby. Look at it as an opportunity to expand your own craft, not a reason to quit. Doesn't matter. I draw art for my friends even though they are proper artists. It's still a handmade item. And oh boy, my drawings resemble a run-over squirrel, but they appreciate the effort. You worked hard on your item. You did great. So I'm also a part of small fandom, and I nerd out over items on Etsy. I like new artists, fancy artists, official artists. I just love having handmade. Please consider that the artist you traded with has grace and sensibility. Give them a little trust that they will enjoy your work for its originality and quirkiness, and honestly, the difference in personal style can be so refreshing, regardless of any perceived differences in skill or whatever. Please do not be discouraged. In my experience, the people who excel at their craft the most often have the most appreciation, love for others' work. It probably reminds her of when she made a similar piece, or was at your point in her crafting journey. When she sees it, she knows that you put real time and effort into it. And that's what makes gifts special.
What's the artist?
Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't delete your profile. I'm sure they appreciate the time and effort you put into it. You made something. That counts. I love receiving handmade gifts because it meant that the giver spent their time working on it and thinking about making something for me. And who knows? Maybe they like bright colors. But the fancy stuff sells better. Gourmet chefs like macaroni and cheese too.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.